Hi there, welcome back to the series on finding your own voice to find your tribe. So last time we spoke about getting clear on our story, the story of what it is we actually do in our business. And sometimes whilst we might ponder over why we would actually do that, we may realise when we do this exercise, and you may have had some aha moments yourself, that actually sometimes we may feel that we may realise we're doing something that is actually not where we want to go. It might be something that's draining our energy, and we might realise this and decide then we're going to stop that part of our business and we're going to concentrate on something different to get to that goal we spoke about. Point number 2, we looked at what was our goal and the bridge from where we are now after doing the exercise as where you are now, what your goals are and what you need to do to cross that bridge in order to get to your goals. So that's really where this comes in now, finding your point of power. So really what I want you to do is take a look at what you put down for what you're actually doing now. You can always go back and listen again to become clearer if you wish before you start this, because what you wrote down from the first exercise is where we start really in this process of finding your point of power. And the big thing here is that we're trying to find out what the core driver is that's driving us, because there's something driving us to do what we're doing every day in each of the actions we do in our business. And this is where the magic happens, when we realise what is actually stopping us from going from where we are now over that bridge to our dreams. You know, what did you write down as to where you are now? And what stops you from getting across the bridge? What excuse did you write down? Now, when I say excuse, I mean, with all due respect, what did you write down? The reason that you couldn't get to have what it is that you want. Now, the answer that you give, the more honest you can be with yourself, the better. It's not for sharing with anybody else if you don't want to. It's a very personal exercise. So what is it that's holding you back from getting to where you want to be? That limiting belief or excuse or whatever it is actually what is driving you. Now, and it may be a very valid reason. I want to just put that in as well. You know, it could be something like, well, I just don't have the time right now. That may be what you say is the reason why you can't get to your goal right now. A limiting belief, perhaps, an excuse, but your truth in saying that. It's your truth of the situation. But what I'd like you to do with whatever you wrote down is look further at that. And the more that you go into that reason that you wrote down, the more magic, the more knowledge you're going to gain about what it is that's stopping you getting from where you are now to where you want to be. Okay, so let's take the I don't have enough time, if that's what you wrote down. And as I say, this is your truth. This is what that truth that you have said is actually driving you every day. So if you believe that you haven't got time to follow your dream and to get your goal, that is what's driving you. But let's look a little bit deeper at that belief of I don't have enough time. If it's your truth and perhaps your circumstances are the way they are at the moment, I want you to firstly just own own that story of I don't have enough time, and don't give yourself any grief over it. If there's nothing you can do about it, own it, accept it, embrace it for the way it is now, but don't give up on your goal. Always have that goal up there on a vision board or in your head, always out of your head. Well, out of your head is better, but if that's the only place you keep it. Own the story where you are now. But if you really look at that excuse, limiting belief of, let's say again, I don't have enough time. Another little exercise we can do to find this point of power is to see why you don't have enough time. Why really you don't have enough time. Plan out your day on a piece of paper. Write down everything that you do between the time that you get up and the time you go to bed. Should you wish to do this exercise, of course. And do this maybe for a few days just to realise what you're doing with your time. And if you're happy that after doing this exercise for a few days, if you really, really, really know that you don't have enough time, not even 5 minutes, then you own that story. But if you look at what you're doing on a daily basis and realise, possibly, if I really want this goal so badly, is there any of this time that I say I don't have enough of? Is there anything I can do to switch what I'm doing to one small thing that I can do to get me closer to that dream? As I say, as we go down and really go down deeper into all of these excuses, limiting beliefs, our truths that are driving us, we really realise that whilst we say this, I don't have enough time, or it could be anything, I don't have enough money, while we say that, we're always going to be in that energy, and we'll actually be doing our day-to-day work with the belief that we don't have enough time even to do what we're doing. Now, this is not rocket science, as we know. It's just bringing awareness to it. And I think when we bring an awareness to it, we really do get some clarity. So the point of power, let's say, for the person that says, I don't have enough time, they go deeper into that story and realise, well, actually, I am choosing to spend my time perhaps on Facebook for a half an hour because I'm connecting with my friends, I'm browsing, and I'm interested in what I'm doing. I'm going to own that truth that I am spending 30 minutes. And you might be shocked that you're spending 30 minutes. Maybe it's more. I'm just picking on poor Facebook. Let's just say that that's the realisation, that the awareness that you get is that you spend 30 minutes on Facebook in the morning. Maybe you spend an hour on Instagram in the afternoon. Owning those stories, realising them, and then the point of power will be always when we go, okay, I have a choice in this situation now to change something I'm doing, one small thing I'm doing to get me where I want to be. Your choice, your decision. And these points of power, really, they can often come with an emotion attached to them as well. I mean, you might find that you might be a little bit of despair over how little time you have, but when you tease it out, pull out what you're doing with your precious time, you might actually lose this despair and realise that I can actually turn this around for myself. This moment of turning something that seems negative, and saying you haven't enough time can be quite a negative thing to say to ourselves, and it doesn't make us feel good about where we want to go. So when we turn it around to say, actually, I realise that I can change this one small thing a day, if that's all you can do at the moment. I'm going to own this. I'm going to not do this one thing I'm doing, and I'm going to do something different, remembering this goal. I am going to train a little bit more on something else to get one step closer. Our point of power is when we get triggered. We get triggered by something on the outside. We get triggered by a story we might hear that triggers us into feeling, yeah, I have no time. I haven't enough money. Because somebody might say something to us about money, let's say, and we say, well, I haven't enough money. And it might trigger something really deep inside of us because we know deep down that that's stopping us getting to where we want to be. Find that point of power. Find that excuse, your truth, limiting belief, and get to the real truth of it. Really understand what is driving your life and your business decisions. Now, this can also be in relation to all aspects of your life, of our lives, of course. It's always really looking at the core drivers, which I keep saying, because, you know, our actions are fueled by our mind racing. You know, I must do this and I don't have enough of that. These are all unconscious beliefs at times that we have. Look at them deeper, find your point of power, and next time we'll go a little bit deeper into what we can do when we find out what these points of power are. So, as always, thanks for listening and speak soon.